So we move on to the next session for the day today. Manish?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And another fanboy moment, Pankaj, for all of us. We have amongst us our own Padma Vibhushan from Telangana, Dr. DNR, sir. So pleased to have you here, sir. Mr. Reddy, as you mentioned, needs no introduction, but let's do a little bit of role play from our side as well, right? So DNR, sir, or Dr. D. Nageshwar Reddy Garu is the chairman and chief of gastroenterology at Asian Institute of Gastroenterology and the AIG hospitals, one of the world's largest and most advanced centers for gastroenterology. He is the recipient of 3 of India's highest civilian honors. Hear this out, please. Padma Shri in 2002, Padma Bhushan in 2016, and Padma Vibhushan in 2025, that is last year.
And the only doctor to receive, so. Louder? Yes. Thank you. What an honor to have Dr. Nageshwar Reddy Garu with us today.
Thank you. He's also published over 1,100 peer-reviewed research papers and contributed to more than 50 GI textbooks. He is the only endoscopist in the world to receive 5 Crystal Awards from the American Society of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy. I have seen sir from very close quarters over the last 4-5 years, and it really hurts me to see that we work only 1/10 of what he works on a daily basis as younger generation. So you inspire us a lot. Dr. Reddy is the inventor of Nagi stent, if you all are aware, and was awarded the Johns Hopkins University's prestigious Captain's Chair in 2024. A living legend in medicine and a shining example of innovation meeting purpose. Let us welcome Dr. TNR, sir, on the dais, please.
I would also like to say that, share the information that Dr. Nageshwar Reddy Garu has also been a recipient of the FTCCI Lifetime Achievement Award. Over to you, sir.
Please have the presentations ready. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish, and thank you, Sangeeta, for this very kind introduction. And thanks for inviting me to this very interesting meeting. I start with a terrible disadvantage, and the disadvantage is talking after Pawan. Pawan is such an inspirational talk. I think it's a very difficult act to follow. Before you start the slides, yeah, we have it there. I'm a gastroenterologist, a doctor who deals with the problems of the stomach, the colon, the liver, and the pancreas. Yeah. And the gastroenterology, till about 10 years back, was not a very glamorous specialty. People wanted to see cardiologists or neurologists and so on. After finishing in 1984, finishing my gastroenterology fellowship at PGI, I had an opportunity of a fantastic job at the Harvard University in Boston. I was then a huge salary, about $1 crore a month it was, and huge opportunities. Gastroenterology was established specialty in US, but in India nobody heard about it. So when I told the professor there that I want to quit and come back and start my own place in India, he was very offensive. He was a Jewish doctor, professor, who told me, I think you're doing a foolish thing. You're going back to an underdeveloped country. Nothing is happening there. And you'll just get lost into that crowd. So I said, okay, but I want to come back and develop this. And 20 years later, the same professor at the Harvard, now sends his students for training to our institute. So he sent me a nice letter recently saying that I think it's a good thing you came here, because the whole concept of gastroenterology, of course, coincidentally, as we developed, it developed, and now it's become one of the best known specialties, not only in our country, but all over the world. So let me not only tell you this story, but also how we took part in building this world-class healthcare infrastructure and how we try and increase its scale. So I think this is again very important in terms of how we should develop healthcare infrastructures in our country. First, you require governmental support. That's very important. Then you require people who are talented. Again, this is a small space, not very many trained people, very expensive, but you have to get them. You have to have an infrastructure not only to do all the clinical work that we do, because you're dealing with lives of the patients, precious moments. A few minutes you can lose a patient unless something is done immediately. And also we had established our own research centers. And like Pawan was saying, nothing was there in India for engineering earlier. Very little research, especially in gastroenterology in India till recently. So we have to put all this ecosystem together. We require government, you require industry, you require philanthropy, and again, investors who help us with this. Unfortunately, as doctors, we are very bad at businesses. And again, I didn't know anything about equity, anything about all those stuff, balance sheets and things like that. Of course, over a period of time, you learn the hard way, but this was the problem. So in 2006, the government gave me 10 acres of land. The then Chief Minister said, can you build the world's best hospital? I said, 10 acres, you can't build the world's best hospital because the Mayo clinics, the Cleveland clinics are all in 300, 400 acres. But I'll try to build a good hospital with gastroenterology as dominant. And this is the Gachibowli, the first hospital we came up with in Gachibowli. And you can see as we came up, the surrounding area also started coming up. You can see Gachibowli is a totally different area now. And we built this hospital which you can see that at that time the Chief Minister told me, can you build the world's best hospital? I laughed and said it's impossible. But in 2022, the Newsweek, which did a huge survey among all the hospitals in the world, labeled us as one of the best hospitals in the world. And they continue to do is, over the last 5 years, we have been labeled as the best hospital. So this is a journey that we took, which came with a lot of things, but I think basically it was support from the government to give this land and tell us, okay, go ahead and do this. We can build structures, like we can build the rockets that Pawan is telling you, we can build huge health infrastructure in the country, but we require this kind of support, otherwise it's not possible. So we try to fit in a world-class hospital. You can see an average hospital with people filled up there. Most Indian hospitals have a lot of rush in the OPD, there's not enough space, hygiene and so on, but you can also build hospitals like what you see in the left here, where you have the world-class infrastructure. We have the capacity to build up. India now has, in addition to the developments in medicine, developments in building these type of capacities, and this is, I think, an extremely important thing. We have many, many clean room manufacturers. We require extremely clean rooms for some of these surgeries. We require negative pressures. We require positive oxygen pressure rooms so that infection does not occur. When you're actually operating on the brain or operating on a deep cardiac structure, you require to have extremely clean rooms. One single infection can kill the patient. So you have to be, so I think fortunately now we are starting to have that, so we can. And also we require to acquire cutting technology. This is one of the foremost technologies called the ZAPEX, and in fact, AAG hospitals have just got, this is the third hospitals in Asia getting ZAPEX. Is extremely expensive. The machine costs about 40 crore rupees. But what it does is, it in a very, very non-invasive way can remove brain tumors, can treat patients with Parkinsonism, can treat patients who have dementia, a huge amount of, so on the brain, it sort of actually changes everything in your brain, this simple machine, ZAPEX. So infrastructure like this, again, we get into Hyderabad because we have support not only from the government but from public. But the most important things which have been lacking in Indian hospitals, unfortunately, has basic research. This is extremely important. The reason why it's important is a lot of research is done in medicine all over the world. But we have found now that this research which is done in US or Europe doesn't apply, it is not fitting our patients. It is totally, what they have in terms of their genes are totally different from Indian genes. We have genes which cause diabetes in the Western world, which is protective against diabetes in India, same gene. The genes of diabetes in India are totally different from those in the Western world. So we have to do our own research. We now know that because of the genetic variation, the huge demographic differences that we have, we cannot rely on Western. So one of the mission at AAG was to establish our own basic science research. So we started this translational research center, and this is again very important, that we don't do just random research. One of the issues in medical research has been that the people are working on such basic research that the fruits of this research will be only available after 100 years. We cannot afford to do that, especially in a private sector. We'll have to do something which is immediately translated. next week should be used for the patient. So we started this translation research center. We took a risk because no private hospital has got it. It does not pay returns immediately or maybe in near future, but it's worth doing for our country, for our people, because it's going to change the way how we treat. And we realize that by doing this now over the last 10 years, we have dramatically changed many algorithms of treatment in patients in our country. And the foundation which we laid, the algorithms which we have created is now followed all over our country for our patients in many gastrointestinal diseases, for example. And we are fortunate that we have decided to do things which are again very unique. This is called the biobank. And biobank means not like the blood bank you must have heard of. We have a biobank. That is every single tissue that's removed from patients in a hospital with the consent of the patient is stored at -80 or -190 to preserve the DNA and RNA. So that 10 years afterwards, we now can look at the tissue and say, okay, this patient developed cancer because he had this particular tissue. We have started this biobank with Leroy Hood from Seattle. Leroy Hood is such a famous scientist. He has 5 Nobel Prize scientists working under him. So with Leroy Hood, we started this, and now we find we have got 3 lakh specimens in our hospital of patients who we have walked in for a checkup. We have stored their DNA, and now as we started to analyze it, we can predict in 5 years back, this patient, although looked normal, had this abnormal protein in his blood. Now, if I had detected at that time, I could have told you that these patients would have developed cancer, and we could have actually saved him from this. We're starting to get a huge amount of knowledge from these blood banks. And similarly, Professor Barry Marshall is part of a faculty. He won the Nobel Prize in 2005 for discovering Helicobacter pylori. Again, when he came here, Barry was totally shocked of what is happening in India. In the Western world, only 10% have Helicobacter pylori in their stomach. In India, 60 to 70% of normal people have Helicobacter pylori, which means I think at least 70 people in this hall are having this Helicobacter pylori in their stomach without knowing it. What does it do? It now causes acidity, bloating, all those things. But in addition, it's one of the commonest cause for stomach cancers, and that's why we have such high incidence of stomach cancers. We discovered this now. We're working on it, how to prevent it. And what we found, again, shocking was that 80% of bacteria in our country are resistant to antibiotics. So we have to, now we are starting a huge campaign on how to prevent this and how to stop this. And this is another product of what we started doing at AAG, which I was very proud that this is something which is so different from the Western world, and we could do it again, the support from what we have. One of the things, again, we discovered is the microbiome. It's very surprising. The audience here should know that our body contains 30 trillion cells, 30 trillion cells. But in addition to that, in our stomach, in our gut, we have 39 trillion bacteria, 39 trillion bacteria. We have 20,000 genes, but these bacteria have 2 million genes, and they're controlling us. We think we are human beings controlling and superior and all that. No, we are only 1% human beings. 99% of us is bacteria, controlled by bacteria, and they determine. In fact, one of the most interesting studies that are being done now is to look at the microbiome of people here and those people who are going to the space. That's an interesting, maybe you can do the project with Pawan. So when they go to space, the microbiome changes, which means if there are people really living in Mars or whatever it is, they'll have a totally different microbiome. So microbiome research is becoming the most important thing, because microbiome in our body determines whether you're diabetic or not, whether you're going to develop cancer, whether you're intelligent, whether you're lazy, everything. And nobody realized this till recently, and we started this huge center for microbiome with another Nobel Prize winner. And Imad Omar from Australia actually is one part of this. We are now developing large 1,000 species of bacteria in our gut, and we didn't know it till recently. And this has been a very exciting journey for us to uncover this and see how this can be unleashed in terms of treatments and all. And again, India is a diabetic capital. We have huge amount of diabetics, especially young diabetics, and nobody understood why till we started this endocrine pancreas. And you can see this is a research center. All these research centers in the hospital, fortunately, are supported by donors. And that way, I think Hyderabad is very fortunate, because you have so many new companies coming up, people suddenly making a lot of money, And many of this, and I think Greenco is an example of how they're donating to hospitals for this research. And in this research, when we took the pancreatic cells of our people, we found that they're totally different from Western population. For some reason, by the age of 25 years, they're starting to secrete less insulin. Functionally, they look all right when you look at them, but functionally they are becoming less and less active. There's something in our genes and we are working that out, why this is happening. So all these exciting things are happening in this field. And I think another very shocking thing I must tell you, again, this is something which you never heard before, but we found recently, we're just publishing this, is that doctors tell you to take medicine. You have some disease, take 1 tablet of this after food once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, based upon what is in textbooks. Right? These textbooks tell us, Western textbooks. We did research on this and found, surprisingly, in a hospital, when you're giving prescriptions or any hospital, 40% of these prescriptions are wrong. Textbooks are wrong. Medical textbooks are. Why? Because individually, every one of us has genetics which is totally different from other. One person, Mr. Ramchandra's genetics will be different from the next person. Totally different. And we're just prescribing blindly medicine based upon. We found that when we took people who are taking more than 4 medicines, looked at this, no single person was behaving the same. 40% of the prescriptions had to be changed. Not 1 tablet daily, but 1 tablet in 2 days. Not 1 tablet twice a day, maybe 3 tablets a day. 40% of it. So now, all patients coming to AIG, we do pharmacogenomics and don't write medicine just blindly. We tell them you have and this type of genetic abnormality, so you must take not 1 tablet, 2 tablets. And this we saw has saved many patients from going into heart attacks and so on. Again, very important information, which again, Hyderabad has become the leader. This information is being spread now to other cities and states, and then we're taking up. The most important thing for medicine as doctors is that we have to combine, because we can't have all facilities in our hospital. There are many centers in Hyderabad, like CCMB, the National Animal Research Center. There is IITs, IIITs, so many centers are there of excellence, and we have to form a bridge between these two so that we can do research with all of them together. We have now started very productive research with the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Hyderabad, where we have innovated several new types of stents, several new types of chemicals which can be used. And IIT Hyderabad is one of our partners for this. So this is one of the advantages of being in Hyderabad. And sometimes when people ask me where I'm from, I'm a proud Hyderabadi, because we have this type of atmosphere, this ability now to interact with world-class institutions and create a lot of new research, a lot of new help what can come from this. So I think we require to work on this, because we are now in India shifting from infective diseases like tuberculosis and so on to non-communicable disease like fatty liver disease, diabetes, cardiac problems, and we require to do our own research on this. One of the fortunate thing about Hyderabad also is, I think, its connectivity. People are connected completely very well, and this gives us an ability to get patients from all over, internationally also, and do a lot of things that, of course, we have to. This is one of the stent you're mentioning, the Nagi stent. This is the problem with innovations in medicine. I invented this stent many years back, 20 years back, and this is a stent which is used to treat patients with pancreatic diseases. My aim at that time was I should not patent this. The reason I didn't want to patent it, because this is for the industrialists here, something which is different in opinion. I didn't want to patent, because once you patent it, the cost increases. Nobody else can copy this, and this remains very high. And because I didn't patent, this is manufactured by a Taiwanese company, and it's available freely all over the world. Millions of lives have been shared with this stent. And I didn't patent. Unfortunately, 3 years later, an American company came up with a similar stent called the Axios stent. They patented it. They made billions of dollars on this stent. And all over the West, usually in US, for example, Nagi stent is not allowed. Only the Axios stent, which is 10 times the cost, is allowed. But at least, fortunately, for Asian group of patients, this stent is now still available at an extremely cheap rate, so that this Axios stent is mainly used in the Western world. So I think this is an example for us. We have trouble in medical now. For example, if you want to do something very new, Unlike industry, you can go and start manufacturing, trying and see. In medicine, you cannot do that. We have to get ethical permissions, regulatory permissions, and sometimes these ethics are very strict. You have to be very careful, and the innovation comes very slowly in medicine. So these are some of examples how innovations have come slowly. I won't go into this, but I think it's very important that Indian experience, bench studies, these are supported by ICMR, DPT and all that. Some of them get patented, although I am against patents personally. I don't think we should patent. We do clinical studies, and finally it comes as a success. This is the way now we have studied many molecules. And again, another fortunate thing about Hyderabad is the huge pharma influence we have. There are fantastic pharma labs that are available. We're also doing a lot of innovative works in that labs. We are collaborating with some of them to look at early molecules for Alzheimer's, for example, and so on. And hopefully some research is going to come on this. So I think this is how we then take industry partners to commercialize. And one of the areas we've been concentrating the last few years is artificial intelligence. Mr. Kinjal, who heads the department for us, is here. And this has been again something which is dramatically going to change how medicine is practiced. Few examples we have actually used now, and I think artificial intelligence is a big buzzword now. Again, predictive response of medicines that I've used. And this is something which is very interesting. Normally when we look at the liver, to find out how much damage the liver is there, we do what is called fibroscan. It tells us the amount of fat in the liver, the amount of fibrosis. I don't know how many have got fibroscans here, but we find in India, 60% of normal people also have abnormal fibroscan. Problem with fibroscan is very costly equipment. It costs about, the instrument costs about 2 crores, the test costs 10,000 rupees. So not easily accessible. So what we did is we worked with our artificial intelligence, and there we have taken 4 blood parameters costing 400 rupees. Made an algorithm, Kinjal and his group have made an algorithm which once you feed this into the simple algorithm, you will get for 400 rupees the exact readings of a fibroscan which is costing 10,000 rupees. Again, this is something which is very India oriented. We are now distributing to other hospitals all over the country, and also we are looking at what is the incidence of this. So this is called NFLD predictor. And we also started looking at another thing. Again, this is something the industry should be interested in, how we can make life easier for doctors and patients. Normally when a patient comes to me and talks to me, and I'm saying we talk to him, but constantly we are typing on our, because we want records, electronic medical records, everything has to go into that. So I constantly keep doing that. In the 15 minutes that the patient is spending with me, only 2 minutes I'm looking at the patient. Patients are not satisfied. This is happening in the Western world. Patients are not satisfied, the doctors get burnt out and so on. So we thought, how should we solve this problem? Again, Kinjal and his group came out with this very good innovation called the Prism, where we have this capacity now. I just talk to the patient, looking at the patient, talking to the patient, examining the patient. As I'm doing now, everything, our AI records everything and gives it after everything is over in a segmented, printed form, saying symptoms, signs, past history, present history, and so on. This Prism, we are now actually 100,000 patients we have actually now effectively verified, and this is something which many hospitals have already taken from us, so that the patient care is becoming better. And these innovations are very important for us. They don't come from West, they don't care. India has to do it, and fortunately, because Hyderabad has this eco-culture of industry, AI, and so on, be able to do this. And this is going to change the way how patients are seen in hospitals in future. Similarly, there are many other things. I don't want to go into the details, but I just want to conclude by saying that in medicine, like in every other areas of industry, there's dramatic changes occurring. For example, in 2009, in United States, those who have been there would know that when traffic was being regulated, there used to be a pilot on a helicopter, and he'll signal to another center down, which will tell you, okay, NH60 is packed, tightly take a diversion and all that. This changed when 2019, the drones started doing. Now it's drones doing all this. So in just 10 years, the cameraman and pilot both lost the jobs to this small change in technology. And this is what's going to happen with AI. Our doctors are very resistant to artificial intelligence. They come and tell me, no, we don't know, will it replace us? They're very worried. I tell them one thing, AI is not going to replace doctors, very difficult. But doctors who know AI are going to replace doctors who don't know AI. So AI education is becoming a very important aspect of our medical business now. And again, I think this is something that I strongly believe in. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent one, but the one most responsive to change. And we in India, in healthcare, has to be responsive to this change. We should not follow what is blindly there in West. We should make our own algorithms. We should do our own research. We should treat our own patients, because ultimately it boils down to one equation: affordable care. There's no point in having very high-tech things if patients don't have access to this. We should innovate so that ultimately healthcare in our country becomes equitable, affordable. Only then we would have justified what we're doing. Thank you very much for your...
Firstly, thanks for sharing so much. I think it's almost like a class for us, and we're listening to you patiently, literally patiently, like patient. One question, or maybe we can allow 2-3 questions here. But before that, sir, I think last week we had a couple of Niti Aayog folks come into Hyderabad, and one of the idea that germinated from that conversation, that community should now participate in research. Just the government, just the industry, just the people from academic institutions. No, I think we should bring in the entire community together. And I want to acknowledge presence of, CEO and Director for Life Sciences and Pharma from Government of Telangana here. Sarvesh is here, Sarvesh Singh. I think we should look at, in that direction. There are so many intellectuals in Hyderabad who are not part of the research at all. Bring them together. And there's so much of cross-cultural, trade, cross-industry that is coming together to solve problems. So that's something we at FTCCI, with help from you, will take up as well. Questions, 2-3 of them. Sriram? Sorry. Yes, sir.
I just acknowledge Sarvesh. I think he's doing a fantastic job. I've been interacting also with him. I think, like you said, this ecosystem in Hyderabad is fantastic. The cross-culture, we have so many different institutions, and all of them are very proactive. It's across the political lines. Everybody now wants to. I think Hyderabad, in my opinion, every city I go very frequently, but I may be biased, but I think in terms of research, in terms of booming, in terms of this cultural cross-culture is best in India now. No other city can compare. Everybody, like in Delhi or Bombay, are working in segments. This cross-culture is not there. Hyderabad, I think by nature, because also it's maybe smaller, I don't know what exactly, but it's totally different.
No, absolutely right. Yes, Sarvesh, please chime in.
Since he called out my name, I thought to add what Dr. Nageshwar Reddy said, because I met him in his hospital and was quite impressed. It looked more like a technology center and less like a hospital. And it looked more like a hotel than what we expect in a hospital in terms of cleanliness and the discipline and the way patients were being escorted and other things. So thank you so much for that. Now coming back to Manish's thing on community, right? So I think Niti Aayog made the right comment at the right place. Because if we look into Hyderabad, Hyderabad is a unique city, and from multiple parameters. One is that you name any tech company, whether it is Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, you name any company, they have one of their largest innovation centers outside the headquarters here in Hyderabad. Since we are talking of life sciences and healthcare, 8 out of top 10 pharma companies, they have their global capability centers here in Hyderabad. You will not see that anywhere in the world. If you look into the research, right, where he was talking that now community needs to come together, there is already a discussion happening with directors of Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, then director for Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics, then director for National Institute of Animal Biotechnology, and then the director for Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. And all these communities, they are coming together at one place in a common forum. And there is a discussion ongoing that how, instead of having the discussion for individual institutions, we can have discussion with all the directors at one place. So And then we were talking of triple IT Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad, right? Then hospitals like AIG, Apollo and others. So Hyderabad has already become a place where the scene is set for the community research. So I think the Niti Aayog made the right comment at the right.
No pressure on you, Sarvesh, but I think we all will come together. Let us know how all of us can work together on this. A warm welcome to you, sir, Sridhar Babu Garu. Thanks for being here. Meanwhile, quick questions to dear. Yeah, Sriram, please go ahead.
So, it's a very insightful session, and I'm really honored. And I would really want that in a few years down the line, when you even get Bharat Ratna, we should get an opportunity to hear you. And so, with that, I have twofold of questions. So, one being talking to a variety of policy think tanks. There is lot phenomenal work that you have done. What are those policy changes that, because a common man, a commoner should be able to achieve this. So what are few policy things that you can think of? That is one question. Second thing which I have in mind is after hearing about and in closed circuits with Brian Johnson and with Elon Musk, death is addressable. That is what they say. What is your thought on that?
So I'll come to the second question. We are very interested in longevity and wellness now. We have started a large longevity wellness clinic. Because although we are genetically all programmed to die at a certain age, this genetically programmed death is much higher than what we are dying at. For example, there are now calculations to say that most of us normally should be living above 100 years, but we are not. We are dying at 80, 70 or whatever it is. So death is inevitable but can be postponed. But there is no point in postponing death by being disabled and living those last 10 years in a bad way. So whatever life you should live in a wellness way, in a good way. So the science of longevity and wellness has now become extremely important in Western world, as especially in California and all, where most of the tech people are investing into these centers which are looking at longevity. And we are now started a large center here because again I feel that Indian genetics is different. I don't know how much we are actually likely to live alive, but so what we have found that we have some very favorable genes and some unfavorable genes, and these can be modified by lifestyle changes, exercise, diet and so on. Again, our diet changes are very different from what is advocated in the West. We are doing a lot of animal work also in this area of how you can prolong life in a very healthy way. And it's a very, very interesting science. A lot of things are coming. Unfortunately, again for all the people here, that there are a lot of commercial institutes which are coming in, which will say that we'll give you plasma, we'll give you NAD, we'll give you this and that will make you well. That's absolutely wrong. Even Brian Johnson is doing some of these things which is wrong. We have to have absolute science. I believe that in next 5 or 6 years, we'll have very good science to tell us what we should do to have a quality of life or prolonged life, and this will come. A lot of good work is going on in this area, especially in the area of genes, gene modifications. Now we have the technology, even our institute, what is called the CRISPR-Cas technology. I can modify, if I know a gene is there in your body which is not good, I can actually edit it. Do editing, take out and put a new gene. But there are some ethical issues in that. So that is the second part. The first part is regarding how we are going to, what regulatory problem, we have a lot of regulatory problems in our country. Unfortunately, most of the regulations which are now in the central government are, which came during the British time. Very, very old regulations which you can't change. For example, I'll tell you one thing, we're doing a lot of work on pancreas now for diabetes, and we wanted to obtain the pancreatic tissue from people who died but who want to give their tissues, like organs. Unfortunately, Indian Organ Act now is that you can take only organs for transplantation. You cannot take organs for research even if the person or the relatives consent. It's very, very funny rule. No other country has got it. So I reached out to the central government, PMO, everybody saying you must change this. If you can give it, somebody can donate the organs for transplant, why can't they donate organs for research? Because that will enhance. But right now we don't have laws in this. It becomes extremely difficult. Hopefully the government will listen to some of these things and help us change what's happening in our country.
Thank you, sir. Very insightful. Thanks, sir.
One last question. Yes, please.
it has not been observed very often in India that to have a pre-checkup,
Yes.
like nobody plans like 6 months, 1 year a checkup kind of
Yeah.
a thing, which is unfortunate on that front. And also probably the policy of insurance across globe where few advanced countries have, why that is not taking shaping in India so that everybody can go and afford, especially
Yeah.
the private community also,
Yeah.
who actually habituate or don't afford it things. So this
So-
would be my, for a common man requirement, we just ask.
Yeah, it's very, very important question what you raised. First is, insurances don't pay for general health checkup, which is wrong. When Obama came, Obama changed that completely. Insurances have to pay for general health checkups. They have to pay. And now, of course, they're starting to do that in Western world. In Indian world, we found something very, I was against annual checkup. See, when you go for annual checkup, ECG, X-ray test, blood tests are done, so what, doesn't matter. I thought, but till now we have started a very enhanced annual checkup and we have found that it makes a dramatic difference. So there are now scientifically certain very specific parameters, biochemical parameters, an exercise test called CPET test and so on, which can predict which disease you are likely to develop in the next few years, which can predict if you are likely to get a heart attack in the next 1 year, which can predict the chance of cancer of pancreas or prostate in the next few years. All these are available now. And now I am a strong believer that everybody who can afford it or the company pays for it, I think many companies have the policy. If you get these annual checkups done, these preventive checkups, you can prevent many diseases. And this is strong. We now have several things. We have low-dose CTs, we have trans-body MRIs. All this new technology is able to predict which patient is likely. And now we are working with Mayo Clinic to make protocols for that so that we can give you, so it's now called precision predictive medicine. It's precise, it's predictive for you.
One
Thank
last
you.
question.
Thanks,
Can we have one last question? I've been trying.
If it is only 5 words, please ask.
Yes, so okay, I'll keep that. Thank you very much for allowing me. It's an honor to be speaking to you, sir. I am a director for AI in United Health Group, which is related
yeah.
to healthcare. Just wanted to understand, you have built a large amount of database
Yes,
in
yes.
terms of medical samples and all. Are you investing in AI also?
Yes,
Are you
yes.
collaborating with any AI agencies across the world
Yeah.
to digitize this whole information to AI domain?
So that's a very good question. We are actually, I think I'll ask Kinjal. Kinjal is here. He's head of our AI department. He is an engineer, basically Google engineer. He'll actually interact with you so that we can save time also. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for that. And welcome to you as well, Kinjal. Can I request Shri KK Maheshwari ji to be on the dais? Hand over a small token of appreciation from our side to Dr. DNR. So thank you so much for coming. It was really a pleasure. Yes. Thank you. And sir, I will request you to please stay back on the dais as well while we request the other dignitaries to come in. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nageshwar Reddy garu. I would like to welcome Honorable Minister Sri Sridhar Babu garu. A hearty warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for attending the second edition. And last year also you were here and we were extremely delighted. And based on your suggestions, we have organized the second edition. You said GrowthX should be 10x. And here we are at 2x. Thank you so much for the benefit of the industry. We have organized this for the second time. I would like to request Sri Ramchandra Rao garu, Sri Sridhar Babu garu to join us for the lighting of the lamp.
Do we have any AV to play? A prayer or song? Yeah.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे
Thank you, Minister. Sir, can I also request you to please be coming to the stage on the dais? And can I also request the rest of the team from the office bearers of FTCCI to be on the dais? Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Honorable Minister with us. So I would like to request Mr. Ravi Kumar, R. Ravi Kumar, President, the Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, to give his welcome address.
I don't think I can say good morning, but anyway, formally good afternoon or good morning, whatever we say. We are so grateful that Honorable Minister Sridhar Babu Garu has agreed and graced this occasion. And as Sangeeta was sharing recently, a couple of minutes back, last year when we did this program, when we went and met him, he said, yes, I will come. And when he came on the stage, he was sharing few things with us, and I was sharing what FTCCI was doing. And I promised him and I asked him to bless me to see that we do the second event at the national level. And this is one which we have achieved, sir. We have done it. And 2027, we'll do something better than this. And I would like to also share that the object of GrowthX is to see that Telangana industry uses its full potential to grow multiple times and in a way support the vision of the government. That's our endeavor, making Telangana a 1 trillion economy by 2034 and 3 trillion economy by 2047. The government, to realize this vision, all of us know, has announced a few policies like MSME policy, clean and green energy policy, sector-specific policies also have come like electronics and blockchain, drone and textile and things like that. Telangana, a developed state, is on par with best cities in the world right now. Like Bharat Future City is one which is going to come. River Musi rejuvenation is coming. Dry port manufacturing zones between ORR and RR are also coming. FTCCI as an apex chamber of commerce and industry in the state is supporting the efforts of the government not only by organizing seminars/conferences but also by bringing to the notice of the government the challenges faced by the industry, the issues that are slowing down the growth, conducting skill programs, workshops to equip the industry with necessary skills, providing policy recommendations and participation in state advisory committees. I would like to highlight few programs to name them, like the Government of India is entering into a number of free trade agreements for the benefit of exporters and importers and to help them diversify and expand their markets. FTCCI, with the support of Ministry of External Affairs, organized a conference to create awareness of the FTAs and how Telangana industry and commerce can make use of these FTAs. And it was not just an awareness program, but followed by a workshop with the support of DGFT to support exporters, register on to the Trade Connect portals. To start with, we got more than 30 exporters registered on the very first day of the event. And this is just a beginning, and we are going to get more and more exporters registered under this program. And sir, all said and done, we would like to share few things which Federation requests you. As things are moving, probably from the government side, we want something to be faster. As usual, we always keep from FTCC some request. For instance, the main object of clean and green energy policy is to add 20,000 megawatt of renewable energy, and the storage capacity by 2030 it should achieve, but Telangana installed renewable energy capacity standing at approximately 11,399 megawatt, dominated by solar. Probably, I think things are moving slow. We request the government to kindly look into it and help us out, sir. And even after announcing the policy more than a year ago, we learned that there was no relaxation for solar developers and applications are still pending with TGRE DCO. Kindly look into it and help us, sir. While we talk of ease of doing business in progressing with various reforms implemented by central and state government, what is worrying in the industry is, honestly speaking, cost of doing business is going up. So somewhere we need to work, and then for this we have been requesting, and we also request you once again, sir, that probably once in 6 months, kindly do have meetings with the stakeholders so that we can give some ideas and things like that. And Coming to today's edition, sir, this is the second edition of GrowthX, and we at FTCCI, particularly the FTCCI ICT committee, chaired by Mr. Bala and convened by Pankaj Diwan, and ably supported by a dynamic group of professionals and entrepreneurs who have curated this program for enhancing Telangana's digital future and India's global dominance. Building on the success of the first edition, we have made this bigger from entry-level startups to global experts. GrowthX 2026 has it all. Insightful keynotes, roundtable discussions, startup pitches, startup showcases, and brilliant panel discussions have been lined up for the day today. I am confident that actionable ideas for a more stronger tech and industry ecosystem will emerge from the deliberations today, and FTCCI together with all of you will be enabling a growth trajectory that will positively impact the industry and economy growth at the state and national and global level. And to reach this, sir, FTCCI as an industry body has a key role, and hence this event GrowthX has been meticulously curated to align the industry with the changing dynamics of technology. And as the President of Federation of Telangana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, sir, I would like to urge everyone gathered here to commit today to build more productive collaborations together with government, industry, academic institutions, and innovators. Together, let's make Telangana the undisputed tech superpower and economic powerhouse and contribute to Viksit Bharat. Last but not the least, I always share this when we are getting into AI and things like that. Somewhere down the line, I personally feel that we are losing the empathy factor which we have. The humanness, the human touch, if it goes, then it is dangerous. Probably people work when there is that human touch. So all of us, including me, I run an industry, so all of us, including me, should look at the human touch and we should not leave this. And recently I was in one of the corrugated box curtain raisers, sir. You were supposed to be there. We missed you that day because you were leaving. I was sharing, I saw all of them as leaders there. So I was just sharing with them, it's time that leaders become ladders and push people and allow people to climb over us and move. Probably we make 100 leaders, we becoming a ladder and helping about 100 of them becoming leaders so that we can achieve the goal of our Telangana and also the nation. And I'm also confident that Ramchandra Rao Garu, who happens to be a good friend of mine also, has agreed and graciously accepted to come and share. And sir, kindly take the message to the center also and see that Telangana has benefited. What we require from Telangana, for Telangana should be given from the center. And lastly, we are confident that under your able guidance, sir, Minister Garu, and leadership, the state can progress at a much higher rate. We are always willing to support the government in whatever way possible to make Telangana a 1 trillion economy by 2030. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Sir, for that wonderful welcome address. Honorable Minister Shri Sridhar Babu has allocated his valuable time. His schedule is extremely hectic. So we quickly move on to welcoming Shri Sridhar Babu onto the dais to give his address. I will just take 1 minute of time to introduce him. Shri Sridhar Babu is the Minister steering Telangana's technology and industry destiny. Under his leadership, the state continues to attract global technology companies, foster startups, and build future-ready digital infrastructure. He holds key portfolios spanning IT, industries, commerce, and legislative affairs, making him one of the most influential voices in shaping Telangana's economic future. A strong proponent of innovation-led growth, he has been instrumental in positioning Telangana as a preferred destination for technology and investments. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. Over to you, sir. Sridhar Babuji. Okay, we move on to the next speaker. Mr. Shri N. Ramchandra Rao is a prominent political leader and an advocate who serves as the president of the Telangana State Unit of BJP. A senior advocate by profession, he brings deep understanding of policy, governance, and aspirations of the people of Telangana. He has been a vocal champion of good governance and enterprise-friendly policies in the state. Over to you, sir. The audience is waiting to hear from you. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time. All the startups were extremely delighted to have you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the chance, because I have to go for another meeting. So because I was waiting for Honorable Minister to arrive, and I thought I would meet him and then speak to you all and leave. On the dais, Sri Sridhar Babuji, my good friend, Minister of IT and Industry, Sri Ravi Kumarji, Sri Maheshwari ji, Dr. Nageshwari Garu, Pawan Kumar Garu, and then other friends, Bala Garu, and everyone on the dais and off the dais, and members of the media. Let me at the outset thank the organizers for having invited me here to interact with you all. In fact, I am an odd man out basically, because I am an advocate, and many few people know that the science and application of science and technology will be very less in the field of law. But now, with the advent of so many apps and artificial intelligence tools which have come up, I think even legal education and also the legal practice is also depending on artificial intelligence. And we have seen many judgments, research being done on the legal side, which is becoming easy because of the access to the earlier and present judgments which are delivered by even not only by Indian courts, but also by foreign courts. So this research, even in the legal field, I think it's a gift from the development of the science and technology. Before the internet came to the interaction, before internet came to the use, and when it was invented, our life was something very different. And after the internet came, I think people's lives have changed, and slowly our dependence on internet has increased. And without internet, I think today we can't even do our work also. Wherever we go, we ask even hotel rooms or wherever that whether net is available or not. Even on the phones we find net. So our dependence on the science and technology has increased a lot. I always believe that no doubt science and technology has made our lives pleasurable, but at the same time it has made our life miserable also. Because if we misuse it, definitely it has to be used with caution. And we have also seen that artificial intelligence is the next stage of the internet revolution. And today we have so many startups. I remember last 10 years back, there were only over 500 startups. But in these 10 years, nearly 2 lakh new startups have come up. And artificial intelligence summit which concluded recently in New Delhi has seen that a lot of startups have come there. The artificial intelligence is not only for India, but it is for globe. That was the message given. And today India pioneers in almost in every field of artificial intelligence and also in the area of science and technology. We heard Mr. Pawan how space technology is being used and how medical technology also is being advanced for the human betterment. All these things are definitely a gift of the artificial intelligence or science and technology, whatever it may be. But a word of caution I would also like to say that this artificial intelligence or all these things has to be used very properly and very responsibly. Because I am a politician, I know even Sridhar Babu knows that these tools can also damage a person's image, it can be misused, it can do many things. But it can do wonder also in many fields, even in political field, where you can identify the voters, you can see track the voters, whether he has gone for voting and all. So the application of artificial intelligence in every field now will be inevitable in future. But at the same time, we must not lose our human intelligence. Human intelligence is also very important. When I send some location to one of my clients or someone, if I send the location from my front room, they will show the different road. And if I send the location from my bedroom, that location changes. He cannot find my house because it gives a back lane. These are certain disadvantages of the dependence of artificial intelligence also. So therefore, the artificial intelligence and the science and technology applications has to be encouraged, but it's at the same time, human intelligence also has to be taken care. Last word, when people were speaking here, I saw that everyone, we felt proud also because they had an opportunity to go to abroad, they work there, and they came back to serve this country. Few years back when I was a student, I heard Mr. Pilu Modi, a socialist member of parliament in Rajya Sabha then, he said that if you go to America, the top scientists, top doctors are Indians. If you go to England, you find top businessmen and top lawyers are also they're Indians. You go any part of the world, go to Nigeria, it is 70% of the economy in African countries are controlled by Indians. So Indians are prosperous and they are successful and prosperous everywhere in the world except in India. That's how I know the situation. But now the situation is different. People are coming back here. They are successful, they are prosperous, and they are contributing to the development of the nation. Today, we are nearly fourth largest growing economy in the world. Under the leadership of Sri Narendra Modi ji, I think this will soon reach to the third stage of the third largest economy in the world. This is what, in fact, we are going through. And we must keep pace with the development which is happening in the world. And India is ahead of everyone. Today, India is no more an underdeveloped country, no more a developing country. We are saying Vikasit Bharat here, as Vikasit Telangana, Vikasit Bharat. So before I conclude with regard to Hyderabad, where Hyderabad has been really, as Dr. Naishwari said, yes, it is a pride that we all, it's a matter of pride for us that we are all Hyderabadis. And definitely Hyderabad has seen a lot of development. When Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was there, at that time NDA here rule was there, Chandrababu Naidu ji was here, then the conception of all this conceived, the idea of IT and other things. And it continued, Rajshekar Reddy ji continued it, then it was sustained by subsequent governments, and this government also is keeping up to make the brand image of Hyderabad. We only hope that this image will be made because Hyderabad, not only in India, but in the entire world, it's a brand image. People love Hyderabad, people love Hyderabad food, people love Hyderabadis, our hospitality and everything. And and I think that today's summit, Growth X, will definitely benefit Hyderabad furthermore. And I thank the organizers once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. And may I now request our chief guest for today, Sri Sridhar Babuji, to help us with some of his inspiring conversations as well. Sir, the floor is yours.
Andarki Namaskaram. Very good morning and very good afternoon to all. First of all, I have to congratulate especially the FTCCI team, for making this a national event. The Growth X earlier in 2025, when I had the occasion to come here and to speak few words on behalf of government, then President Mr. Singhal and the Vice President Mr. Ravi Kumar Garu has mentioned that they would be doing a national level Growth X program in 2026, inviting the industry leaders from different verticals of industry to this beautiful city of Hyderabad and to our state of Telangana. Right now, on the days, Ramchandra Rao Garu, the BJP state president who just had delivered his speech, amongst us, very notable and prized doctor and a awardee at the national level, whom everybody knows, Dr. Nageshwar Reddy Garu. And, on the days, there are many people, like Pawan, young people who had steered, our industrial growth specifically. Exactly, I think 7 years back they started their company and have become a unicorn. And they are a pride of our Hyderabad too. And we have, Maheshwari ji, Balagaru, and Pankaj ji on the days, along with all industry leaders of the days. And in fact, with this platform, the Federation of Telangana Chambers of the Commerce and Industry, in 1.0 of their journey, made the specific how to grow industry, how to scale from X to 2X to 3X to 10X. While they were just mentioning a plan of action in their execution, that was our first year of our completion of our government. And we were just trying to accelerate the process of the growth of this state. In 1992, when the reforms have set pace, everybody knows about it. And when we have started globalization, it is the first state, the composite state of Andhra Pradesh, especially, in the field of information technology, we took the early lead and started moving, although we were a decade late after Karnataka. Now at this point, where we are now, if you see, many leaders from different parts of India who are here, if you see from 1992 when we have set the process to see that the next level of technology would be in 2026 or 2030 or 2032, the late Prime Minister, P.V. Narasimha Rao garu, when he has set the motion into action on the platform at the Indian level, we took the big initiative. And nobody literally knows about the history right now. In 1992, when we started our IT era by laying a foundation stone for our IT corridor here in high-tech city. Nobody would have thought that technology would take and, climb to this level. Now, everybody knows, and we have seen the transformation of technology. One point in 2000, where software ruled the roast, and you have seen the web story, how it has ruled. Now, this is the convergence of technology with different domain expertise which is taking place. I literally don't see a point in Ravi Kumar garu saying that, you should have some emotional attachment while keeping about, aside the technology part. If we, literally keep that, we will be staying back. Steel giants are over here. If they don't put their artificial intelligence into their stream of production, they will be labeled as a very outdated company. Isn't it, sir? Yes. So, it's has become now and dear to everything. So, what I have seen, a doctor sitting over here, he's a great doctor, everybody knows it. And he's the doctor who literally seen innovation in terms of the healthcare. What I've seen, because practically I was there in a hospital for a couple of times. He invited me as a IT minister over there to inaugurate few of the innovations what he has done. If he doesn't introduce the technology, the state-of-art technology or the cutting-edge technology is what right now into these healthcare systems, one, the patients may not get the proper medication what is being required as per the global demand is there. Second, the affordable healthcare system cannot be possible if Dr. Nageshwar Reddy garu doesn't converges domain expertise of, as a doctor, with the technology. So he grasps very early. He is a pioneer, I think, in terms of the healthcare, to introduce AI into his stream of the healthcare. So, in that, I'm sorry to say, Ravi Garu, but the point I would like to mention is, tomorrow human beings, if the super intelligence comes into being, doesn't know where we'll go, where we'll end. But still we can't keep ourselves back and keep moving. And whenever I feel like, when I speak of X in mathematics, everybody knows. X bole to what we are trying to figure it out. Doesn't know what it exactly means. In technology, if you see, what X means is what we are trying to experiment with. In growth, like this platform is just reflecting is, they are speaking about what really comes, what for the future. This is a growth X phenomena, what I've seen it, what we see in Hyderabad too. What as a policy maker here I'm standing. What comes next for Hyderabad? What comes next for Telangana? What comes ultimately next for India as we move forward? And honestly, if we see what comes next for all in this world where growth is no longer happening in isolation. So maybe the X is already somewhere here in JRC today. And if you see right now, and one thing is quite clear here, and as the industry leaders stands here, you are the prime witness over here, the global economy is entering into more uncertain and more strategic phase. Why I did mention about strategic phase is, in the geopolitical economic situation, everybody knows about it. And where geopolitics is influencing economies in ways we don't have seen in decades. We have been the witness in the recent tariffs mentioned by the great so-called President Trump. And election in major economies, how they are influencing the policy direction. And in supply chains that are being redesigned now, not just for efficiency, for the resilience. And at the same time, well, all these things are going, we see the technology is accelerating everything. I have mentioned just now the artificial intelligence is changing how we can do the work very efficiently, very precisely and affordably. And if you have seen now, disruption is taking place every minute and innovation cycles are shrinking. Otherwise, in long duration innovation, once you've made some innovation, it would have been there for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Now, the innovation cycles are very shrinking that it may stay for 2 days or 3 days or a week or 15 days. And as a minister over here, I see a shift reflected in the conversations we have with the global companies. As individuals, I keep meeting so many people. These are all the few observations that I could able to really make. The recent economic survey captures this transition very, very clearly. The world is becoming less predictable, more technology driven, and more competitive. This is what we have to literally see. The industry leaders would have been witnessing this. Very less predictable. Is more technology driven and also more competitive. Join us, sir. Come. In such a world, ecosystem strengthens, becomes a real competitive advantage. That's what we are trying. This city, I proudly claim, combines the talent, it has a great infrastructure, and last but not the least, we have a policy clarity which is leading all these things. This is India's movement right now. And states like Telangana, we are not here to just participate in this shift. When the transition is taking place, we are here to shape it. and this is our resolve. And here the comes, and the platforms like GrowthX definitely signals where the ecosystems are headed. You know, many people who have great expertise in many fields and many verticals of industries are here. We are here to stand and to know what they have in mind to shape up their course of their industry to the next level. We are here to stand and see that and facilitate them to move forward in the path for this transformation. And we are here to say that we are not only here to look at the scale, we are looking out, moving from scale to innovation. You may be having the capability, we are there as a facilitator to make you a leader. From moving your capabilities to the leadership and this destination, moving this destination as a global partner who would be partnering with us. You know, in GrowthX, on this platform, what Mr. Raviji and their team are thinking what comes next. And Telangana's story is about what we prepare for it. How do we prepare for it? And our approach is quite deliberate. As if you have seen, you know, our Telangana economy is right now stands about $200 billion economy. And when our Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, has just spoken a few months back of making 1 trillion economy by 2034 and 3 trillion economy by 2047 when India would be celebrating 100 years of their independence. Many thought leaders over here, many industry leaders would have thought what these people are speaking. Absolutely. You know, many who came down to me and confided in me, how can a $200 billion economy can move to 1 trillion economy? One, we have a trust in our industrial partners. One, we have a trust in our economy. We have trust in the talent pipeline, what we are right now and what we would be creating in just a couple of years from now. And we are not thinking of an incremental growth. We are just thinking of a trajectory. So through this trajectory only, we can build a $200 billion economy to 1 trillion by 2034. You know, people like Pavan who are sitting there, people, you know, elder people like these people who are sitting here thinks of a new innovation. This becomes very simple. And I'm standing here to say, I'm a young politician standing here, I'll be there for 20 more years in the policy and politics too, with lots of dedication and commitment, because even though I may be standing maybe in my phase of my political growth, I may be in, opposition too, but our point and projection for this state would be how we brand Telangana, how the continuation of our policies will lead to bring this Telangana economy to put to the next level is our goal and ambition. And we always see that the growth must be designed. We are not assuming it. And we are building the future in the same sphere. In that sphere of growth, what we have done, how did we plan? While unveiling our policy imperatives and also vision, our Chief Minister recently launched Telangana Rising 2047 vision document, where it has mentioned about the 3 core economic growth corridors. Everybody from Telangana would have known, one is Cure, and the other one is a Pure, and one other is the Rare. The basic objective in this, Cure is nothing but the core urban region economy, where it absolutely delves into our Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation within the inside of the outer ring road, where the beautiful infrastructure many would have traveled while coming down from the airport till here. or to their hotels, we will drive in this pure economy only the innovation and the global services, the service industry, where we don't allow the pollution. And where in the next level of the pure economy, peri-urban region economy, where industrial corridors and the manufacturing sector expansion will be done in a big way with lots of innovation. In the the rural area regional economy, where rural regions drive productivity and inclusive growth, where our real existence lies, the agriculture and agriculture-allied activities, including the primary production and manufacturing, also takes place over there. This is the ecosystem what we have designed. We didn't assume. We are putting them into action. This is what we have designed. And this design of ours will make us to move forward in achieving the dream of 1 trillion or 3 trillion by 2047. And this is the next wave of our growth, what we are trying to put it. And through this, we would like to lead the Telangana. As we have seen, the next wave, the AI coming into picture. And ultimately, what we have seen, AI not only as a technology, it is also is a productive layer. It is shaping and reshaping not only your industry, but it is shaping the individual lives too. So that's how we have taken AI into real cognizance, what a government has to think about. And this is only state first in 2024 September, which have hosted AI global conference to sensitize our industries partners, to sensitize our government partners, sensitize our government machinery, sensitize each and every individual how AI and in times to come can influence, will influence and can shape their destinies. This, we have started the journey. And in times to come, we have literally seen how we are taking, our roots in AI. In the recent Davos visit of World Economic Forum, our Chief Minister has launched AI Global Hub on the international forum, where it got the traction from many industrial giants, where they have literally said that this is the niche initiative what industry is looking for. And I would like to literally see when I launch or our Chief Minister launched this AI Innovation Hub in a couple of months from time. Now, I would be inviting all the partners of our state, not only from Telangana, we would like to invite all the industry partners from all over India through the Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry. We will invite you all over here to have the first-hand traction of what we are doing. And to our, company elders who are sitting over here, if you have seen for the past 2 years, the number of global capability centers coming down and putting their own centers over here, never back in the history, never when we have a competition with other states have seen. We got about 70 GCCs in a year. Last year, the global capability centers, not only pertaining to the specific domain expertise of the software or the IT, but it could able to attract from each and every verticals of the industry. Mention any industry. The big companies have put their global capability centers, and the major breakthrough is the hospitality sector. The major group, the Marriott hotel chain, have put their own GCC center. And the recent addition, just a month back, when we had visited the Davos, a big beauty industry by name L'Oreal have announced their beauty tech GCC over here. So we have believed from execution to innovation, so that has attracted the industry. And Hyderabad, emerging as a key hub, is the fundamental feature of what we are trying to put it. And when convergence is taking place, whether it may be the manufacturing or it may be data on human capability or into different verticals. Recently was mentioning about in the BioAsia, in terms of the life sciences, people, my director life sciences is sitting here, Mr. Sarvesh, was clearly mentioning about how life sciences can be leveraged by using of technologies. Here is a place where we have high-tech city. At the same time, we have a place like Genome Valley. Both centers of excellence and centers of expertise are here right now in Hyderabad. When the convergence takes place, when the tech meets the domain expertise of certain industries, this is where how we go, and Hyderabad is why people coming and putting their offices or the capability centers over here. And in terms of the life sciences too, the convergence of the life sciences with the technology will help to come up with a new molecule or the best, healthcare. Absolutely, as a policy maker, I would be more involved in trying to give the medication to the poor at the affordable cost. This is our view and this is our put forth for this thing. And we have lot much of competition in and around. If you see, the southern Indian states compete each other with lots of vigor and with healthy competitions. And here, the people like you over here, especially from Telangana, who believes in talent and collaboration. With this strong ethos, Telangana is building. And, we are coming up with ease of doing business in our 100 days program, ease of doing business 2.0, which will address all your concerns except the land value, what he has been mentioning. That is not in my hands or neither in somebody else, it's in the market. If you have seen in the market, other day, land is a scarce commodity anywhere in India. And that too in Hyderabad, everybody needs this Hyderabad land. And I can't come in aid to what Mr. Raviji was just mentioning. And, what we are trying to do is, shifting from where we work happens when real innovation takes shapes, where real innovation scales up to next level. This we are looking forward. And our government always believes in friction reduction and policy paralysis. We generally discourage these things. Our Chief Minister is also emphatic in this way, and we believe in our execution, what we can do it with speed, with policy clarity, and we do experimentation with advantage. And this is the shift, what the global partners are seeking and defining the next decade, and we are shaping for it. And in fact, if we look forward, I believe the next phase of growth will be shaped by three simple shifts. One is ecosystems, will matter more than the individual companies. And as rightly mentioned, we have strong focus on the talent quality, which matters most than the talent volume. And collaboration really matters more than the competition. This is exactly what we are working out, what we are trying to do to enable in Telangana. Environments, we are trying to create environments where companies work together, talent grows faster, and innovation happens, but naturally. On behalf of government, I invite all the industry leaders, the thought leaders of you to come and collaborate, not just as a participants, but as a partners in shaping what comes next. Because the next phase of growth will be built together through partnerships shared with ideas and connected ecosystems. Because what begins right now as a conversation today will become a strategy for tomorrow. And these are the few points what I would like to mention. I took into cognizance what Mr. Raviji was mentioning about couple of bottlenecks what he has mentioned. But we are a proactive state which brought in the new energy policy, which put into practice, and most probably few issues will be there. I know, I'll address couple of issues where other departments are involved. We would like to literally see that we can solve those problems at the earliest and see that, your promise for your customers and your promise to grow your industry to the next level will be delivered, and we will act as the facilitators. Once again, I thank all the people who have come from different parts of India. And once again, I'm inviting you to join us as a partner, not as a participant. Thank you very much.
Sangeeta ji is coming up, but please, a bigger round of applause. You have to save me at the end of the day.
Louder, please. So thank you so much for the deep dive and what a vision our IT and Industries Minister has for the nation, for Telangana especially. A huge round of applause for that vision. Now we know where the industry is headed. And Shri Sridhar Babu Garu actually said ki tomorrow at some point of time he may be in the opposition.
Because the minister is getting delayed, we'll quickly start with the launches. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
Huh? No, yeah. Can we have the AV please for the launch of the portal of Global Challenge portal that we are launching, so that industry partners can put their problem statements, sir, and startups and students can work on it. May I request Kavikrut to join on stage and Sarvesh also to join on stage, because we want to do it as a collective initiative from all the this thing. We have our partners like AICT, T-Hub, Talent Farm, Hyderabad Mavericks, 365, CXO, all of them chipping in for various initiatives. And may I also request all the ICT team members to join on the stage, please. Can we quickly go to the next? That is the voting. Yes. Round of applause for the launch.
All right, so I think sir has to leave for some other appointment as well. Can you please felicitate Mr. Sridhar Babu, please? Sir, thanks for being here. Your valuable time. Pankaj ji.
We are also felicitating Dr. DNR and Mr. Pawan Kumar and an emerging company from Hyderabad, Blue Cloud. May I request all of them to be on stage, please. Blue Cloud leadership, Mr. Chandrasekhar and Mr. Vinod.
Another emerging startup from Hyderabad in the space sector. And finally, the Blue Cloud team, please proceed ahead. Thank you, Sridhar Babu Garu. This is the last felicitation. Blue Cloud Software Tech from Hyderabad. Just come over closer and let's close this out. Sir, we will appreciate if you can spend another hour later someday. There's a fireside chat pending with you. Thank you. All right, we'll just take a couple of minutes break and wish Sridhar Babu good luck for his next meeting as well. Thanks. And
Thank you, boss. Thank you so much.
yeah. So I request all the FTCCI office bearers teams also to be back in the room. We are planning to launch a couple of more initiatives here, so would request everybody to back here as well.